We are live now, sir.
Wonderful. Yeah. If we are okay, we will start, or else we'll give 1 more minute so that people joins in YouTube live.
Yeah.
Manjivam, can we give 1 more minute of time so that people joins in YouTube live? Sure. My team is sharing the links.
Yeah, sure.
Now we'll give 1 more minute and then we'll start the introduction. Can you share your slides, Zoma?
Yes, sir. I'm waiting for Look to make me as a co-host. Once done, I'll be sharing my screen.
Laukik, share the slides quickly. Sridhar sir, good evening.
Good evening, Sridhar sir.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dr. Manjari.
Good evening, sir.
How are you, Rohini?
Yeah,
Anuja?
Fine, thank you.
thank you for the invite, sir.
Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, Priya and Maji, please go ahead. Thank you.
Right. Uma, I think we can start.
Yes,
quickly.
sir. I'm sharing my screen, sir.
Yeah, please.
Good evening and a warm welcome to the chief guest as well as the guest speaker of the day. Today we are celebrating the 5th day of PV Leaders Connect 2025, a global pharmacovigilance webinar series, which is a gateway to the global journey in drug safety innovation, proudly presented by Indian Pharmaceutical Association along with its Industrial Pharmacy Division, in academic collaboration with Clinosol Research Private Limited. So today we are going to have the chief guest introduction, followed by a keynote by the chief guest, Manjari Garat, and then the guest speaker introduction, followed by guest speaker sessions, Q&A, and vote of thanks. So these two are the people, the standing pillars on screen, off screen, behind this program, who are coordinating with all the speakers, guest speakers. Thank you so much for bringing such wonderful programs to all of us, sir. Without much delay, I'm moving on to the chief guest introduction. Mrs. Manjari Sandeep Gharat, in charge principal, KM Kunrani, KM Kunnani,
Nani.
Pharmacy Polytechnic, Ulasnagar, India, Vice President of Indian Pharmaceutical Association and Chairperson IPA, Vice President of Community Pharmacy Section of the International Pharmaceutical Federation, Executive Committee Member, Sierra Farm Forum of FIP and WHO. Mrs. Manjari Sandeep Gharat is a distinguished pharmacy professional and academic leader serving as the in-charge principal of BRAIN KM Kunnani Pharmacy Polytechnic, Ulasnagar, India. She holds key leadership positions in professional pharmacy organizations, including Vice President of the Indian Pharmaceutical Association IPA and chairperson of its Community Pharmacy Division. At the international level, she serves as Vice President of the Community Pharmacy Section of the International Pharmaceutical Federation FIP and as an executive committee member of the Sierra Farm Forum of FIP and WHO. Mrs. Garath has been widely recognized for her pioneering contributions to community pharmacy and public health. She is the recipient of two prestigious global awards, the FIP Fellowship in 2016 and the Ishidate Award of the Federation of Asian Pharmaceutical Associations FAPA in 2018, becoming the first Indian woman and the second and third Indian respectively to receive these honors. She also holds the Fellowship of IPA and has received numerous awards from social and professional organizations across India. A passionate advocate for responsible medicine use, Mrs. Garath has been instrumental in establishing public-private partnerships that engage community pharmacists in programs such as TB Dots. She leads IPS Responsible Use of Medicines campaign, Karam, and is actively involved in the professional development of pharmacists through training programs, collaborative projects, and partnerships with academia, pharmacy councils, chemist associations, consumer organizations, NGOs, and IPA branches nationwide. An influential communicator, Mrs. Garas regularly contributes to regional newspapers as a pharma columnist and is an author of Aushad, Aushad, ba, Aushad Ban, a book aimed at promoting medicine awareness. She also has presented India internationally, traveling to over 25 countries as an invited speaker, panelist, trainer, and paper presenter, showcasing her expertise and commitment to advancing pharmacy practice and public health globally. We are honored to have you over here, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Um, Thank you so much for this invite. I thank IPA in Industrial Pharmacy Division and Dr. Sridhar Reddy and friend Mr. Mujibuddin for this invitation, and congratulations for having a series of webinars on a very important, on a very vital topic of drug safety, and that is pharmacovigilance. Before I go forward, I just want to put some corrections. The biodata which was shown, it has got little modified. I'm the immediate past vice president of IPA. I was heading the community pharmacy division for 12 years, and I was the vice president of International Pharmaceutical Federation, FIP, till 2024. Before that, I was the vice president of the FIP's community pharmacy section. Now I'm FIP India Envoy, and also, I'm the vice president of the CR Farm Forum of FIP, which is headed by Dr. TV Narayana. The president of CR Farm Forum is Dr. Narayana. Having said this, now let's get back to the topic. So I'm very happy to be here, but I want to see the world where we do not celebrate or we do not observe the pharmacovigilance week. Why did we have to, observe this, the pharmacovigilance week? Because there has been so many issues with the medicine usage. There have been so many adverse drug reactions. Where there is a effect, there is going to be a side effect, and that's true for every medicine. And therefore, ADR monitoring, the vigilance becomes very important. But we as pharmacy professionals, we as pharmacists are at forefront to ensure the rational use of medicine and the responsible use of medicine. So when I look at pharmacovigilance, there are various angles to look at it. But I look at it from one important point of view, that in our country, in India, the health literacy is very low yet. There is rampant self-medication, which is giving rise to a lot of ADRs among the people. Just take simple use of painkillers. Every now and then people pop a pill, painkiller or an acidity medicine, and finally they have problems of kidney damage and so on. So that is very important part, again, a very important role for us as pharmacists to educate the people to avoid irresponsible self-medication and provoke them, guide them, educate them for the responsible self-care. On one side, there is so much of self-medication rampant. On the other side, there are people who are leaving the course of the medicines and halfway when the doctors have prescribed. So it is a very strange kind of human behavior which we see in the society. And because of that, you see problem like antimicrobial resistance, antibiotic resistance in the community. So when you look at this wide spectrum of issues, self-medication on one side and leaving the treatment halfway of the prescribed medicines, you see we as pharmacy professionals, of course, doctors, all have complementary role to each other. And we make a total, when we have a proper linkage with each other, we make a complete health system where we work in collaboration with each other. I'm very happy that Dr. Rohini is your speaker today, who is a medical doctor talking about the pharmacovigilance. And I would like to see a world where the doctors, pharmacists, nurses, ASHA workers all work together in one team. And we have, just like other countries, we should have a healthcare team where all are working together for one goal, and that is our patient. Patient safety, population health has to be our central goal whenever we are working in this kind of professions. So I'm sure through this webinar series, everybody has got enlightened regarding various aspects of vigilance, and everybody by the end of the series, those viewers, and I'm glad this is on YouTube, so people can even watch it later on, also all the lectures, all the presentations. So this will be really, even I will tell my students to go through these presentations through the YouTube link, because this is going to be a great resource for the students, academicians, pharmacists, as well as other professionals to learn a lot. As we are celebrating or observing this Pharmacovigilance Week, we are heading towards another important day, and that is World Pharmacist Day, which is coming up on 25th of September. As everyone knows, we started observing or celebrating the Pharmacist Day since year 2010, and this was initiated by FYP, the International Pharmaceutical Federation. This year's theme, Dr. Rohini, I would like to tell you, this year's theme is Think Health, Think Pharmacist. Think Health, Think Pharmacist. This is the theme, and this is like it's not just a theme, it's not just a slogan, it's call to action that we are looking at the pharmacist for this comprehensive role. Whenever you think of health, whenever you think of medicines, you should think of the pharmacist. And before I end my talk, a brief talk, I'm sorry I will have to leave early, but I would like to give my best wishes to everyone, all pharmacy professionals, on this World Pharmacist Day, which is coming up on 25th. And remember, think health, think pharmacist, and we all have to work towards this. And when we work towards improving the role of the pharmacist, when the pharmacist become a true healthcare professional, pharmacovigilance, ADR monitoring. And why monitoring? Minimizing the ADRs. That is one of the important goals. And that would be possible when the pharmacist is performing his true role as a healthcare professional for the public, for the society. So thank you everyone again for this kind invitation. And I wish a very good lecture for all of you by Dr. Rohini. And I would like to go through all the YouTube lectures later on in this week after you finish the series. So thank you again, Mr. Mujibuddin, for this kind invite. And that's it from me, from my side. And again, congratulations for planning the whole week of series of lectures, webinars for the pharma students, academicians, and others. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manjari.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your precious time sparing towards this event. Moving on to next.
Yeah, thank you very much, madam. So
Yes.
it's very honor for us because
Thank
being
you,
the
ma'am.
first lady globally who have brought the Indian pharmaceutical areas in FIP and other areas. So we are very much proud of you. And it's a great honor for us. You have spared your valuable time for all our audience. So we have YouTube Live where thousands of people are,
Yeah.
because this is the primary objective of this is to give the awareness to the
Yes.
entire pharmaceutical industry sector and also the students, upcoming leaders,
Yes.
PV professionals.
Pharmacy. Yeah.
So,
Right. Yeah.
primary importance on the patient care you have highlighted very good, and thank you so much. And we will be always invited to for all your professional contributions, and you are a role model for us. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
Dr.
you so much.
Rohini, I'm missing your lecture, but I would love to connect with you in Mumbai, and I'll go through your lecture later on the YouTube. Thank you.
Absolutely,
everyone.
absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye bye.
madam.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Uma Priya, please go ahead.
Moving on to the next speaker, Dr. Rohini Pandey, Director PV Operations Abroad. Dr. Rohini Pandey is a seasoned pharmacovigilance and pharmaceutical operations leader with over 17 years of experience spanning global drug safety, clinical data management, and regulatory affairs. Currently serving as Director of PV Operations at Abbott, she has a proven track record in leading high-performing teams, optimizing operational efficiency, and ensuring compliance with global good clinical practice standards. Prior to Abbott, Dr. Pandey held key leadership roles including Head of Global Pharmacovigilance Operations at Glenmark Pharmaceuticals and Delivery Manager, Safety Writing and Regulatory Affairs at Skypharmix. Now it's been called as Fortria. Her experience encompasses end-to-end project management, strategic operations, and oversight of safety data management, medical review, aggregate reporting, and signal detection across global markets. Dr. Pandey started her career with roles in Tata Consultancy Services, Cognizant, and Quintiles, gaining experience and expertise in pharmacovigilance training, cardiac safety, and operational leadership. She holds an MBA in operations from the Institute of Technology and Management, a postgraduate diploma in clinical research from Bombay College of Pharmacy, and a BHMS in homeopathic medicine from Maharashtra University of Health Sciences. Dr. Pandey is recognized for her strong analytical skills, people management, team building, and strategic operational leadership in the pharmaceutical industry. Very warm welcome to Dr. Roshni.
Rohini, Priya, thank you so much for the introduction. And I would like to congratulate the team for organizing such a lovely webinar for an entire week. I would say that it will be very beneficial for the general public of India, including students, of course, because it will be something that they will be looking forward to, and it's good for the learning as well. And I would like to thank Mujib, Dr. Sridhar, Clinosol Research for inviting me for this session. And also, I would like to congratulate everybody who are part of this particular operation or part of this particular project. And with that, I would wish you all a very happy Patient Safety Week. As Dr. Manjari rightly said, we are celebrating Patient Safety Week. And yesterday I was at a conference and we were discussing as to why do we have to really celebrate this? Because every day is a patient day and every day is a human day. But of course, in order to create some importance in and generate some public awareness, we would like to mark this day as a patient safety day. And I think it is essential for us to create awareness why we are talking about safety so much. So with that, hello, am I audible, Priya?
Yes, Rohini.
Yes, yes,
Sure.
yes.
Okay. Okay, so with that, I would like to share my screen and share my deck with all of you so that we can talk about as to how PV evolved and especially how PV evolved in India. So there are a lot of changes happening with respect to pharmacovigilance in India and across globe, but specifically India, there are a lot of aspects that we are currently looking at, and it's
Yeah, your
just give
screen
me
is
a minute. Visible. Okay, great.
just have to make it a full screen. That's
Mm-hmm. Is it a full screen for now?
Not at Rohini.
I can see it as
Well,
full
you
screen.
can make it like
Yeah.
a slideshow. That would be sufficient. You can make it like a slideshow from here also. You can continue here as a slideshow.
Yeah, I did that already. Is the screen not
I think,
visible to you? The first
yeah,
screen?
Rohini, I think the only you have shared the particular slides only. If you share full screen, then only it will come as your slideshow.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
When you share Zoom, you have
Yeah,
to
yeah, I
share
got it.
all
Mm-hmm.
the screens, yeah, not just particular
Entire
slides.
screen, yeah.
Yeah, entire screen.
Is it visible now?
Yeah, perfect, perfect.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry we have to deal with all the technological aspects of it. So let me just start with the growth of pharmacovigilance in India. Before I start with it, I would just like to give a brief disclaimer that whatever I'll be talking about today is my personal opinion and it has no direct relationship with any of the organizations that I've worked with. And all the data that I will be discussing with you today is all publicly available, and there are a lot of sources from where you can find this particular data. But in case if you need the details of it, just ping me or give me a brief message and I will give you the source details. So let's start with it. I would like to talk about how pharmacovigilance have been growing in India basically. Before we move on to that, Dr. Manjari briefly explained as to what pharmacovigilance is, and I would like to stick to that topic, wherein I would say that basic introduction of pharmacovigilance is that we're dealing with drug safety monitoring, which is analyzing adverse events, is the primary data collection aspect of it, but there are a lot of other aspects involved in pharmacovigilance. It's just not about collection of the safety information, but that is where the PV starts basically. So that is one of the most critical activity, and to my knowledge, currently the growth in India for pharmacovigilance is booming. We have a great pharmaceutical market from the manufacturing perspective to also the pharmacovigilance aspect. When I say pharmacovigilance aspect, a lot of Western countries, they want big pharma companies, they want to outsource their key aspects of pharmacovigilance to India, because we have great talents in India who can take care of that information and also can process complex drug analysis theories, therapies, etc. So it has been growing in the market, and India plays a very great market also from the Asia perspective. So if we look at the Asia market as well, India is one of the markets which is going to grow a lot as compared to as far as the pharmacovigilance is concerned. Then how did we basically evolve in with PV in India? So of course we all know that we had DCGI, but now we have a specific PV unit in DCGI, which is PVPI. And this particular program started somewhere around in 2010, wherein we started focusing more on drug approvals, how to manage the safety information, and how do we analyze the data and make it comparable to how the Western countries are doing it. It's not that we have to compete with the Western countries, but in terms of how the data should be managed and how we can make the most out of the data is something that we started learning after we developed this new particular department. And then we also got a new PV guideline. Till then we were referring to what was BCGI proposing, but now we have a specific PV guideline which clearly describes as to what we're supposed to do, how, when, and where. So with that, the monitoring centers evolved in India. And if I have to talk about how the clinical trial sector is moving in India, is booming, because also with respect to the cost perspective, India has become one of the most cost effective countries, wherein a lot of the other MNCs companies, they want to contribute and have demergers across the globe and concentrate more on the clinical trials for the innovative bit of it, and they are opening more centers in India, and India is going to get a huge market from that particular perspective. And because we have to deal with such growing business, there is a need of uniformity across how do we manage certain set of data and how do we build those systems across. So we have got good talent, we've got a great talent pool. With that comes a training programs, and we all are doing a great effort with respect to this. I would like to give this example of this particular webinar. This is also like training people in a way wherein people can't attend if they can't take any PV courses or anything like that. At least such webinars or some YouTube talks or any other social media platforms is going to help our upcoming students per se. So there are a lot of professional collaborations are also happening, wherein the industry leaders are tying up with the pharmaceutical companies in order to train the academics. So they're reaching out to the medical colleges, hospitals, and training people on pharmacovigilance and how it should be managed basically. So we've taken a great turn, and we've evolved, and we're still evolving, but we have to go to a level which is comparable in a way that everybody across the globe is comfortable with how India is processing the information. Then I will, like I in my previous slide I spoke about how the market is growing, but just to give you in terms of numbers, the market size in India currently is projected to grow by 0.21 billion. Currently it is 0.21 billion. In 2024 it was, and now by 2030 it will be somewhere around 0.34 billion, which is a great scope. So as far as the revenue shares are concerned in Asia Pacific region, it is growing approximately by 30%, taken over by 30%, and there are a lot of other aspects that is going to come, especially in India. From the operational capacity, at this moment, somewhere around in 2024, we've processed approximately 2.4 million ICSRs. When I say ICSRs, it is individual case safety reports, and we have a strong operational capacity. So most of the information that is getting processed from the ICSR processing perspective is getting done in India. So if we look at the global market, approximately 70% of the data is processed by the Indian market. So it's a big thing. And now slowly in the future, it will just not be ICSRs, but there are a lot of other activities that these MNCs would like to outsource to the Indian market. So which may include aggregate reporting, PSUR writing, then RMPs, and a lot of other activities. In a way, they would like to keep certain information to themselves, but there will be a lot of other activities which may be contributed or which may be done by the Indian population. Then how are we trying and managing this particular growth is with respect to the regulatory. Of course, the regulatory affairs, or not really affairs, but the regulatory authority will have to support us a lot with respect to that, because we are talking about standardization. We are talking about making a uniform global standards across PV in India. And with that, I think there are a lot of initiatives have already been taken by the government of India, wherein they're trying to meet a lot of people from WHO and other areas of the pharmaceutical industry, and trying to build in a new set of directions or directives that can be given to the pharmaceutical industry. So there are a lot of initiatives already happening, and I would say that we are on the right track or the right path. And with that, nothing, humans are always important with any activity that we do. They are the core of everything. But in today's world, there's nothing solely a human can manage. Of course it can be managed, but if we can ease out that particular burden by involving technology into it, it gives a great perspective to everything that we do. So with that, I would say that even pharmacovigilance is an industry which will have a great growth with in the terms of technology. So all the activities that we currently managing manually will be done with the help of an AI or an equivalent AI or an augmented AI. So when I say it is AI, it is basically the artificial intelligence which is going to help us. This doesn't mean that the humans are getting replaced by the AI. It's just that the humans will get a lot of help from the AI. So say, like, just if I may give you an example, a very basic example. If you give a draft to an AI and tell the AI to make that particular draft in a more professional or a more casual tone or anything, and if an AI can give you that particular draft with a more professional wording or more professional content, it is helping you. So in that way, the AI is also helping the PV professionals by giving you the draft content of certain things, and then you can build on it, or the people can build on it. So it's not that humans are getting replaced, but the technology is helping humans. So that is one of the major shift that we're going to see somewhere by 2030. We are already in a very definite change mode, but by 2030, we will see that approximately 50 to 60% of the information will be processed by AI, and this is all publicly available. So and with that, of course, there are a lot of educational initiatives that we are taking with respect to training programs, courses, training the professional industry leaders and all the across PV professionals, healthcare professionals, pharmacists. And it's just not the physicians who need to get trained, it's also the general public, any lay person. And in the healthcare industry, I would say the nurses, the pharmacists, anybody who's related to health, they all are required to be trained, and we have been taking this particular initiative across. Then I would say, because we are a population with great talents, young generation, there are a lot of opportunities that we are going to see by 2030, because most of the MNCs would like to outsource their PV activities, which they don't want to keep it in house, to India, of course. And there are several reasons to it. Two being the most major reasons is that we have a great talent pool and we are cost effective. So these are some of the basic aspects that the growths are getting drived in India, and we have to stick to these things so that we are moving in the right direction. Um, in the previous slide, I ended with outsourcing. I want to give you a basic landscape as to how the outsourcing basically works. So the MNCs are dividing their particular models as to full house, full in-house, full outsource, or a hybrid. So what hybrid is that they will keep certain activities to themselves, and they will outsource a certain activity to the service provider or the partners, if they call it that way, to for them for us to manage for the MNCs. So in that way, India has become one of the global markets where most of the MNCs would like to come and outsource their activities to us, and that is becoming one of our major market strengths. So currently we have 68% of the global pharmacovigilance work outsourced to us. And some of the key activities that are getting outsourced is, in the past it was only ICSRs, but now slowly we are getting this particular shift that they are also outsourcing aggregate reports, which is your PSU writing, PBers, RMPs, then the signal management, wherein they want us to do a certain type of activities but not the everything, because they would like to keep a certain amount of details to them. The safety database management, one of the I would say one of the most essential or the critical part of PV. It is very essential because that's the basis of the data. Then, like how I told you about the being cost efficient, so India offers approximately 30 to 40% of cost savings, and we follow the Sun models for the global operation, for the continuous global operations. So, in a way, currently, what PV is, I would say, retrospective. If people are reporting to us, we are going back and giving them information or evaluating the information and then studying it. But the future of PV is not retrospective. Future of PV is going to be prospective, wherein the technology plays a very important role, and that's where India becomes one of the biggest market for the global MNCs. With the growing market, of course, we would need the workforce expansion, and with the workforce expansion comes a lot of other demands and the complexities. There is, with the growth, the kind of growth that we are seeing with respect to PV professionals is going to double by 2030. And depending on the demand, basically we have to increase the PV services and get more training done so that we are capable of managing that kind of work. However, if while we are doing all this, there are chances that at the lower end of the sector or the entry level roles, we face the higher turnover rates. When I say higher turnover rates, because these levels or these people, they are at the junior level, and they tend to leave the company in India looking for better opportunities. So there are several reasons to it. So that is where we would need to focus more, because the churn out of the information or the people is happening maximum at that particular level. And then if we look at that particular attrition and how we can retain people, we can create a sustainable growth and maintain the quality in PV operations. So when I said human is key to every activity that we do, or core to the every activity that we do, is so true that we have to ensure that people are happy working or happy what they're doing, and they should like what they do. So this becomes one of the greatest challenge, because then we have to ensure a culture in the surrounding that people are, happy with the work that they would like to do, and they enjoying their work basically. So with people management, I would say, comes a lot of challenges, and of course we have a lot of solutions to it. But one being the workload, and it becomes like, in India we have a culture wherein we tend to work for a larger time as compared to the Western countries, and that is what calling for high attrition, and we don't have a great work-life balance. This is all my personal opinion, but yes, of course, everybody is free to comment on it. But we all need to learn from it as to how do we ensure that we are charged up for the next day. So in that way, we have to ensure that we are maintaining a good work-life balance, and if we maintain our good work life balance, you are automatically charged up and energized for your next day. For that, with that, I would move to the one of the other challenges that we face with the human resource is the skill gap and the career progression. Of course, we all need to grow, and we all need to be capable of doing what we are doing and what is going to come next for us. So in that, we have to continuously thrive to learn more and more, so that we are equipped enough to take the future challenges or the new growth that is going to come as part of our industry movement or industry growth, basically. And with that, I would say that there are a lot of strategic solutions to it. Of course, automation being one of it, but we need to know as to how do we use automations. So there are several aspects to it. Let me just give you an example of an AI. So you have to understand that the AI will work if you know how you can make the AI to work. So the prompts, we are in a world wherein we have to guide the AI as to what you want from the AI. So the prompts that you give the AI is the key or the essential part of it and the basic core part of it. So you have to give a detailed explanation also to an AI so that the AI gives you the best possible answer that you would need. Of course, then comes your upskilling, and it is just not AI upskilling, but also all the training activities that you might do as part of your organization or as part of your academics, or out of interest, you may want to see a lot of other content that is freely available in the social media. And if you're working for some organization, then of course there is a competitive compensation that gives you a thrive. And these days the industry is also doing a lot of employee engagement at the workforce, which brings in a lot of efficiency and also a sense of care or empathy within the within the workplace, so that they are, completely engaged in wanting to work and happy in what they're doing, basically. Mm-hmm. Then we move on to the strategic opportunities. So, like in the previous slide, I gave you a very brief explanation as to how the hybrid model works. So, hybrid model is one of the models wherein I would, in my personal opinion, that's also one of the models that I would prefer. This model helps the oversight of the helps the MNCs to keep oversight on the partners or the service providers that they have engaged with, and it gives them a lot of space to engage themselves into some core PV activities, and they can outsource the rest of the activities to their partners. It brings in a lot of optimization from the people position, from the cost efficiency, and also gives the best possible solutions that they can have in the particular market, in any particular market, I would say. Of course, I've been talking a lot about the AI enabled outsourcing. So, yes, now a lot of service provider, if you reach out to 10 service providers, at least 5 would give you solutions which are AI powered. So, there was this KPMG report wherein these days a lot of people are scared that technology can replace humans, but I would say no, technology cannot replace humans, but it will definitely replace humans who are not upskilled as to how to use AI. So only humans who are not able to upskill themselves is something that they should take care of it and should be worried about. Otherwise, I would say that it's one of the drivers or one of the catalyst for us to be moving forward. And I already told you that India is one of the PV analytics hub. Most of the data management activities and all the other possible data available in the market is with India currently. And we've been doing a good job at it. I would like to finish this with two more slides. One is how do I see the future, and the other one is some good takeaways that you can have as part of this particular particular presentation. But if before we talk about the takeaways, if we talk about the future outlook, PV innovation is one of the aspects which we are working on, and AI is helping us greatly with respect to this. It is even giving us leads as to which could be, a better lead for us or a better hit for us from the innovative drug perspective. And we are talking about today in India, we are talking about precision medicine. It's no more about the disease. It's about precision medicine as to how this drug can work on a particular patient. So we are looking at the genomics of humans basically before we entering into the disease mechanism. So we are making a lot of advancements there. And when I say genomics, that becomes very patient centric approach. So we are talking about real world evidence, real world data, which is making the pharmacovigilance practices more prospective than retrospective. Then of course we all have to come together. So it may be the pharma industry, it may be the academia, it is the regulators. Of course, we all have to work together to be more sustainable and to be more attractive for the Western world to give us more work. And of course, India is becoming one of the prime countries to, I would say, prime countries to attract the PV work basically. Then the technological evolution, I've spoken more about this one, of course. And then, of course, the last slide. We will be a very strong market. India is going to be a global hub for the PV activities. And the current talent that we have, and with that, we have a great knowledge in technology integrations, which is revolutionizing the PV operations and improving efficiency and giving cost efficiency basically. And in the future, we are moving to strategic partnerships where the MNCs would like to partner us. It will not be just providing services, but giving them better solutions, guiding them as to how this would work more efficiently and certain other areas. So the hybrid model that I just spoke about is one of the models that India is going to see more and more. And with diverse clinical trials in all those aspects, this particular strategic partnership is one of the areas that we will be focusing more by 2030. We will have a lot of strategic partners by 2030. And of course, the safety commitment that we all have, and that's the reason we are celebrating this week as well. There are a lot of challenges that we are going to face, but of course, we will have very innovative solutions to everything. And in India currently, we have great leaders who could support the upcoming demand, and the pool of physicians or the healthcare professionals, the pharmacists, the nurses, or anybody who's involved in the healthcare industry. We have a great pool. So that's where I would like to stop. Thank you so much. Have a great week ahead. Priya?
Thank you so
Uh,
much.
yes,
That was a wonderful presentation. You have touched upon what is the need of the hour actually.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Rohini. So it was, as usual, you deliver a lot and very informative for the audience. Thank you so much. And Priya, if any questions from the audience, can we take it up now?
I think Sridhar sir, we'll take it as later the questions and we'll answer
End of
to
session.
the
Fine. Please go ahead with the
yeah.
second speaker, Anuja Sawan. Hi, good afternoon. Please take the introduction, Priya.
Yes, sir.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, should I take?
Yeah, you can go ahead, Loki.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Rohini ma'am, for that insightful and comprehensive presentation. And your valuable insights into PV operations and leadership strategies have surely given us a lot to reflect upon. And now, next speaker, without any delay, Dr. Anuja Javle, Shravant ma'am, Country Pharmacovigilance Head and R&D, Vendor Oversight and Governance, Strategic Thinker, and Optimistic, Lean in Regional Leader. Dr. Anuja Javle is a seasoned pharmacovigilance leader with over 17 years.
Logic, I think you have some network issue. Let me continue this. Okay.
It's okay, ma'am. I can. 17 years of experience in end-to-end pharmacovigilance and medical safety activities. She currently serves as the country pharmacovigilance head at Kenview, overseeing pharmacovigilance and medical safety operations across India and the South Asia clusters. Dr. Javle is recognized for her strategic thinking, strong analytical skills, and ability to foster cross-functional collaborations to enhance pharmacovigilance processes and ensure regulatory compliance. Throughout her career, Dr. Javle has held leadership roles in global and regional pharmacovigilance operations, including at Organon, Abbott Healthcare, and Lupin Limited. She has extensive experience in vendor management, regulatory affairs, risk management, and safety data oversight across multiple regions, including India, South Asia, and USA, EMEA, and APAC. Her expertise spans clinical development, post-marketing surveillance, and the implementation of pharmacovigilance standards and quality systems. Dr. Javle holds BHMS in medicine from Maharashtra University of Health Science and a postgraduate diploma in clinical research from Cranfield University. Her career journey reflects a committed to excellence in pharmacovigilance, quality assurance, and strategic leadership, consistently driving improvement and innovation in patient safety practices. Beyond her professional achievements, Dr. Javle is actively involved in empowering women through her roles as network leader for Lean India Mumbai, where she organized trainings, events, and networking sessions to support gender equality and economic empowerment initiatives. We are excited to hear her thoughts and learn from her expertise. Over to you, Dr. Anusama.
Thank you, Lokit. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the kind introduction. And I thank you, everyone who've invited me. Thank you, Mujib. Thank you, Dr. Sridhar. And thank you, Clinosol Research, for this invitation. I think it's an honor to be speaking on this platform. To what my colleague and my friend, or you can say we have worked together, me and Dr. Rohini, in the past. What she presented regarding the how India is progressing towards pharmacovigilance needs and requirements. I would like to continue, or you can say a little further on that aspect. The topic which I would be covering is harmonization of pharmacovigilance regulations. I'll share my screen. Just give me a minute. I've sent a request.
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Okay, thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So pharmacovigilance basically is about regulations, right? Everything what we work under pharmacovigilance is a part of regulations, which means that each and every regulatory authority of each and every country where a product is being marketed or developed we as a pharmaceutical industry are bonded by the particular regulations, be it a pharmaceutical company developing a product, be it industry or academia or hospitals where the trial is being conducted. If you are, from academic industry or from the hospital industry involved in the clinical trial, there are some of the certain regulations which oversee you or are kind of, you know, give us a guidance on how a particular activity is to be done, and all the regulatory bodies are overseeing how are we kind of monitoring the safety of the product. My topic basically today will cover, uh, if you know, or if you have a basic understanding regarding the different regulations. The regulations basically ultimate mean the same, that they want or they aim towards patient safety, but every regulation goes the other way or some other way. So every regulation, if you see, maybe it US FDA, or maybe it, in India, or maybe some countries in India or Japan or China, or, the emerging markets or Middle East and, Latin America. Everywhere, as I said, the ultimate goal is patient safety, but everybody has their certain different requirements. My session today just is a thought-provoking session where, it's just we as a participant of the industry, we as participant of academics, or we as participant of, different forums, can we voice out our opinions, or can we talk about harmonizing this PV regulations? Okay. So I'll move ahead. So yes, as this is a disclaimer that the views and the points presented by the speaker, that is me, are my own and do not represent the opinions of any organization that I work with or I currently work with. So this is basically, as I said, is a thought-provoking session. So what I will be covering in today's session is what is the current PV landscape, how are we structured, what is convergence? So harmonization, I can give another word as convergence, wow, what it is and why it is needed. What are different pharmacovigilance practices followed in different countries? So I will be speaking about what, a very bird's eye view on, like, what are the different PV practices happening across globe. What are these challenges with this different PV practice as an industry? What do we face as a challenge? If there is an opportunity that we can converge these regulations, how can we converge? And can we use technology to converge this? And are there any mitigations to this? Moving ahead. So in a pharmacovigilance setup, basic stakeholders, or you can say the primary stakeholders, are the health authorities who set out the regulations, the pharmaceutical industry, the healthcare professionals like you, me, pharmacists, nurses, doctors, whoever work with the patients day in, day out, and the patients and the consumer, who are ultimately, taking the product or taking the drug. These are the primary pharmacovigilance stakeholders. How has pharmacovigilance evolved? So pharmacovigilance, if you see this, picture, I have taken it from, a journal. So it talks about right from 1848 to today, that is, 2017, and the different regulations evolved due to different events happening, and that is how what triggered how. And pharmacovigilance is still evolving. Tomorrow or today, if there is some other, a big outcome, or, if there is a big study which forces the regulators to make changes in the regulation, there would be, something new which would continue on this arrow. So the pharmacovigilance has been evolving. Every now and then, all the countries, the industry is adapting to this new pharmacovigilance requirements, which are coming in day in and day out. Every industry or every pharmaceutical company is marketing a product not only in one country, but is marketing a product in multiple countries, multiple regions. As an industry, they have to oblige to all the regulations across the globe. Okay. And with this evolution of pharmacovigilance, can we achieve harmonization? Can we achieve convergence? Can we at least try that, some of the efforts which we are doing, can we have convergence or harmonization towards that? Okay. So if we have, first let us understand what is convergence and why is it needed. So regulatory convergence by definition represents a process whereby the regulatory requirements across countries or regions become similar or aligned over some time. That is what we're talking about. And why it is needed? It is needed so that there is a gradual adoption of internationally recognized technical guidance, documents, standards, and scientific principles, common or similar practices and procedures, or adoption of regulatory mechanisms that might be specific to a local legal context, but that align with shared principles to achieve a common public health goal. I fully agree that every country is unique, every population is unique. That is why when we do research, we have different ethnic groups. We study products in different ethnic groups because there's a certain impact of our race, and genes of the drugs, right? So definitely some amount of local context is needed to regulations, definitely, but certain aspects we can converge, or we can harmonize. Now, what are the different practices across globe which we can see? So I have that, see, pharmacovigilance are a lot of things in pharmacovigilance which we, when we right from, patient taking a drug till we observing an adverse event, right from collection of that adverse event to reporting, and then, ultimately to signal detection, or, submitting in an aggregate report. So there are multiple things, but I have just listed few wherein there are differences across globe, and what we can achieve. So there are differences in ADR reporting practices. Okay. There are differences in timelines for submission of case reports to health authorities. There are differences in reporting format. Then there's a document called as PSMF, Pharmacovigilance System Master File. It's kind of your, you can say, your ultimate. So any pharmaceutical, any pharmaceutical organization, its entire PV system is, captured in this PSMF. So you can, if you read the PSMF, you will understand how how a pharmacovigilance system or a operations run in this particular pharmaceutical organization. So that is the PSMF. There are different requirements across different countries and different regions. Local QPPV requirements, risk management systems, data log point for PSO. So these are few which I have listed. So for example, if I take about timelines, I'll just, give few examples of few of them. If I take about timelines, if an adverse event is to be reported to a health authority, in case if it is, serious or death, in certain, health authorities, it is 7 calendar days, in some it is 8, and sometimes it's happened 10, sometimes it's 15. Okay. There are different reporting formats. I mean to say, the type of reports which are acceptable to health authorities. So for example, the developed health authorities where, good systems are developed and all, the XML or the E2B format which we submit is acceptable. In certain countries, still you need to submit a COMS format, or a certain paper format kind of reporting is still acceptable. Then if you see local QPPV requirements. So in certain countries, the local QPPV can be a resident, has to be a resident of that particular country. Certain countries, allow if the QPPV is, outside. So specifically in Europe, it has to be, across Europe, but not necessarily in that particular country. So there are different local QPPV requirements. Then again, the data log point for PSUR. So PSUR is a periodic safety update report. It gives you a summary of how your product has fared, or it's kind of its report card for the last 6 months or 1 year. And you kind of, summarize in that 6 month or a year that how your product has performed, what adverse events have been received, what are the literature reports which you have found in this particular time period, what were the risks identified, and it's, as I said, it's a kind of a report card of your product for that particular time period. So you explain that in detail in this PSO. But what happens is, because of the different requirements in different countries, so for example, if the report is, from 1st January 2025 to 30 June 2025, it's a 6-month PSUR, for example. So in certain countries, you require to be submitted within 30 calendar days from the data log point, that is 30 June. In some, it is 45, in some it is 60, in some it is even 90. So, these are just random examples which I'm giving, but trying to give you an idea that how every country or different regulations have certain, 19-20 ka differences in this practices. But what happens is, because of these different practices, we as pharmacovigilance professionals, or the different service providers who are working for pharmacovigilance, or even in the pharmacovigilance team in different pharmaceutical companies, at times to adopt and follow, or trying to streamline our internal processes becomes challenging. Okay, if it was very sorted that okay, every country will require a PSUR within 45 days after the DLP, then it's much easier as an operations person, or as a PSUR operating team. I know, okay, my product is in India, China, is in Mexico, is in Dubai, is in UAE. I have to submit this PSUR within 45 days. So, I will prepare that as per local requirements, and within 45 days, I'll be ready. But, when a particular country requires in 30 and, in 45 and 60, then my operations become a little difficult, or, may create certain challenges. But yes, as pharmacovigilance has evolved, this industry has also evolved, and the industry has also kind of gained or attained good practices how to manage this. And the operations experts in the PV industry, in the respective pharmacovigilance team, or in the respective company, have set up good practices and good systems that all the reports will go timely to the health authorities. But this is just a food for thought, that क्या होगा अगर if it is just once, what harm will it make, especially related to timelines. Okay, now what are the challenges we I kind of briefed when I was giving you examples, but here I have listed that what challenges it can face. So one is differences in PV practices may result in difference quality of ADR reports, like what kind of data is being entered, what kind of data is expected by a regulatory authority, what kind of details are expected, what do regulatory authorities see, that basis that the quality of ADRs may vary. This may result in different risk management practices across the world for the same product. Different data sets are available with different health authorities for the same ADR product, for the same ADR report. And due to different risk management practices, ability to manage new safety information is isolated and varying. And what happens is, because every health regulatory authority is focusing on certain things which is specific to their country, or specific to their population, there may be disparity in certain regulatory authority decisions basis. Some health authorities focusing on a particular health issue, whereas the other health authorities focusing on other health issue which is happening in their country with that particular product. So there may be a disparity again here. How can we achieve convergence? We can definitely achieve convergence. Let's see how. By defining and implementing best and suitable practices. So for example, a particular country comes up that, these are my best practices. This is how we are able to manage safety across our country well. Certain country comes up with certain best practices. And, by defining this and implementing this, it can help achieve convergence. Formal training of PV professionals. If PV professionals are trained across, on what are the standard, what it is required, so that will help achieve convergence. Better and uniform communications tools. So the databases or etc., we have we can have better and uniform communication tools. Integration of PV systems and practices. So if systems and practices across the countries, across the globe are integrated, then we can achieve convergence. Legislation to identify disharmony and legislations to create uniform framework for harmonization. And if all health authorities adopt same technical processes, so we can achieve convergence. Can we use technology in harmonization? Yes, we can. We can manage the data. We can use uniform tools. We can use tools that can manage volumes. We can use uniform workflows. So for example, every health authority has their database, right? So if a certain workflow on how an ICSR is going, how it's going to be reviewed, if same workflows are, or uniform workflows are used across systems and databases, use of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and NLP tools. I think Dr. Rohini touched upon a lot on this. They can really enable real-time data collection, processing, and standardization. So, a particular tool can help in standardizing how we are collecting the data across the globe. So, we can definitely leverage technology, and which is really at the forefront in pharmacovigilance. I think in every aspect of pharmacovigilance, technology is coming up. It's helping us a lot. Mitigations, how what we can do. Okay, regulatory authorities can have harmonized standard of area reporting. Emerging safety issues and public health issues can be handled uniformly across globe. Enhance global sharing of data between authorities. So if different authorities are talking to each other, there can be an enhanced global sharing of this data. Effective communication regarding safety and efficacy of medicines to all stakeholders. PV education across colleges and universities, and I think that's we are doing today, and it's great. Shift of mindset from reactive to proactive PV practices. So what happens is, okay, there's an ADR, okay, now what to do, what to report. But instead of that, proactive, like you already know, you already have systems in place where to report, how to do it, where to collect it, where to save that information. So everything from reactive to proactive PV practices. What can harmonization benefit? It can it can lessen the efforts by health authorities, pharmaceutical industry, and HCP. So the duplication of work would be kind of stopped. It will benefit in having uniformity in practices for, it may help in faster drug approvals. Financial benefits, I've marked the question up, maybe, may not. We'll have to see if we kind of implement this kind of harmonization. We'll have to look if we can achieve financial benefits. And I think it will, help in improvement in public health, definitely, because we aiming towards patient safety. Uh, so I think that's all about what I had opinions on about harmonization and how we can achieve harmonization, what advantages we have. Definitely, I think there can be certain disadvantages, but always in pharmacovigilance, if benefit outweigh the risk, we go ahead with the decision. So that is how we can take a call here. If advantages outweigh the disadvantages, we can always go towards harmonization. So thank you very much, and grateful that you all gave me an opportunity to present and share my thoughts. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Anuja ma'am, for your insightful session. Um, Before we closing, we have some couple of questions, ma'am. So if you okay with that, I will ask you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, for me.
Yes, ma'am. First, Rohini ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, we have a couple of questions, but because of time constraints, I will ask you two questions only. First one, like, how do you see India's role in global pharmacovigilance evolving in the next 5 years?
Um, I would say I covered that aspect as part of my deck, but nevertheless, I already explained that from the human resource perspective, we're going to double. So, say for example, in 2024, we needed approximately 50,000 employees in PV. So that's going to double somewhere around 100,000 human resources by 2030, and it goes for the revenue aspects as well. We're growing by 30%, so on year. So by 2030 we will have a tremendous growth, which will be somewhere around 30% from the cost, as from the revenue perspective as well as the human perspective.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. One more question. What are the main challenges in India's PV system, and how can we overcome?
Sorry, your voice was breaking. I could not get the question. Can you please repeat it? I'm sorry about it.
What are the main challenges in India's PV system,
Mhm.
and how can we overcome them?
Yeah, so I would say currently the main challenges that we have is the Anuja touched upon it, the regulatory aspect. So we are not currently standardized or uniform across. So there are different countries with different regulations. So if we as India has to support multiple countries, we have to take care of each and every country's regulation or requirements separately. So if we have a uniform system across the globe, the standardization or uniformity becomes easier, and so the work of the PV professionals becomes easier. So that I would say is one of the biggest challenge currently, and also upskilling people from the talent perspective, from the academia perspective. So what we study in academics and what we do as part of the industry is very different. So I would say that such webinars where we have the industry leaders coming and talking about the real world scenarios is going to be a great help for the academics students. So these are, I would say, two main challenges that we have currently.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time. Next, two questions for Riza ma'am. What are the key hurdles in harmonizing PV regulations in a globally?
Okay, thank you for the question. So, see, currently, so my presentation again, I'll tell you, it was just a thought-provoking session where can we harmonize PV regulations? So this is just hypothetical assumptions that in case we harmonize,
Yes, ma'am.
what benefit it will take. Okay, so the key hurdles can be, or see, definitely, I think every health authorities also must be thinking that how we can harmonize. There are certain regulations. So if you see the ICH GCP guidelines are harmonized guidelines. There are many countries which follow ICH GCP guidelines, right? So
Yes.
similar to that, the hurdles I think would be as I think the local context which everybody has, the race, the ethnic groups which we come into, and the local language. So in if you see why PV is evolving also, because every regulatory authority needs the reports in their local language. Okay, so you will need a report in Mandarin, in China, in Japanese, in Japan. Okay, so because of that I cannot harmonize a report writing, or a particular report. I cannot submit an English report in all countries, right? There are certain local requirements in particular local countries. Also, there are the also the another hurdle, as I told you, it can be in the research. So for example, certain products, we are known, we are from the industry, we know that certain pharmaceutical ingredients act or can vary upon its effect, based on which ethnic group you are. And that is why in most of our research articles, if you see, we try to include populations from different age, race, ethnic groups, so that we can understand how this particular medicinal product is acting upon different race or ethnic groups. So I think that also can, I can list these two hurdles basically, which I can think of right now, can be, which is kind of not taking us forward, or not helping or not letting us take that step ahead towards harmonization. And also I think health authorities have to focus, the country specific health authorities, their primary aim is to protect the patients or the consumers, or the citizens of their specific country, right? So they focus on how it can benefit them locally. So the first focus is always local. uh, that that also can be one of the hurdle for harmonization.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And one more thing, one more question, ma'am.
Sure.
Can AI tools speed up TV harmonization, or do they, or more complexity, or?
Okay, so definitely AI is helping. AI will help PV harmonization, definitely. So for example, uh, I can give you an example. Suppose there is a literature article reports which I have submitted, because we have different sources of ADRs or individual case safety report which we submit to health authorities. So out of them, suppose there's a literature article, and this literature article, because I am marketing in 10 different countries a particular product, I submit it to all the 10 different authorities. So in case there is a tool which can read this article, give an extract to health authorities, so it can, and what is benefited, or what's the outcome of that literature report, or what's the particular message or information that literature report is trying to say about. If the health authorities are using such kind of tools across, or a common tool uh, amongst them, then they may be able to kind of benefit out of it, because health authorities also process, review our data, right? So if they use the tools, it can also benefit on their end. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your patience. On behalf of PV Leaders Connect 25 team, I'm extend my heartful thanks to all our distinct speakers and participants for making today's session truly insightful and engaging. Um, so a special note of gratitude to our chief guest, Mansiri Garat, Vice President, ma'am, inspiring us with her words of wisdom. And also, we deeply thankful for to Miss Rohini Pandey, ma'am, for sharing her expertise and pharmacovigilance, and the talk on harmonization of PV regulations. And also, Dr. Anuja, ma'am, um, your knowledge is real world insights have added immense value to this series. Behind the scenes, a big appreciation goes to Dr. Sridhar sir and also CS Muzibuddin, the creators of a driving force of this program, for curating such a meaningful learning platforms for all of us. And finally, thanks to all participants who joined us live on Zoom and YouTube. Your questions make these sessions worthwhile. And we look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow for Day 6 Global Pharmacovigilance webinar series. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot for Anuja ma'am and Rohini ma'am. Have a
Thank you,
wonderful
Laukik.
evening.
Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.